I was a radio broadcaster and had a successful career with that. In fact, the interesting thing, my wound was that I was, as a child, I was supposed to be quiet, just settle down. Just settle down, because I had all this, energy and, so I kept being told to settle down, settle down. So I settled down. And so I got into broadcasting where I had to be completely out there. And it was awful. I spent 5 years trying to get out of every personal appearance that they had for me. Really. But I would do it. And then I got through, then I learned. You talk about compensating and learning, and I got the gift at it, and I got pretty good at it. And then I decided, after so many years, that I would get into publicity because I was doing a talk show, and publicists were pitching me, and I wanted to have more control of my destiny, and it was a way to hide, because I really didn't want to be out there, right? So I was putting everybody else out there. I was getting them on Oprah. I was getting them on The View. I was getting them in USA Today. The Wall Street Journal, New York, you get the idea. I was pushing them out there to be, because I was happy to be behind the scenes. Well, then the world changed, right? And we all had to become visible. I think it was 2 years ago I realized, oh my God, Joanne McCall's a client of mine. I'm a client of mine. It was like this, and then that's kind of when it started. Okay, so cut to the chase. I went through the soup thing and I realized that we all, you're in business, we all have to become our own media empire. That's it. You have the platform, you've got the video, the audio, all of that. It's like being a radio broadcast station. And we all broadcast our message and our brand and our unique gift to the world. And then we all need to be able to do that. So I take my polishing abilities for people to be on television and on video and that sort of thing, and I help them to present themselves in a well-polished way.
And it's called?
The Media Polisher. Thank you to Jeffrey.
Just love my brand.
For people who are ready to shine online.
That's right, to shine online. Yep.
Now, interestingly, the wound, right? I can't shine. You're too loud, you're too much, stay quiet, go down, created the craving to shine. But also the fear of really being seen because of all the old voices that said it wasn't safe. So all the internal work you were really willing, if I can use that word loosely,
God, yes.
to do really allowed you to pop, I know, they need to shine. I'm the media polisher. I mean, I remember clear as day her coming into the conference room the next morning.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, babe.
thank you.
Yeah.
So Siddiqi.
Yes,
Jeffrey, I want to share that when I met Siddiqi, Jeffrey's like, well, look, I have this friend. She's a very accomplished photographer, but she's got like this psychic thing, and man, she needs a platform. And I don't really know what it is. It's this new thing she's doing, and Jeffrey and Siddiqi, friends many, many, many years, dear, dear friends. I had not met Siddiqi, and I'm like, that's interesting. She's got this psychic thing, but she's a photographer. That was a year ago? Mm-hmm. That was a year ago. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah. I'm going to cry because I'm just so grateful. Really, Jeffrey and I are like brother and sister. And one of our good friends and also another Diamond Club member, Ravi Rao, Dr. Ravi Rao, described Jeffrey and Suzanne as spiritual Sherpas. And that's really what they've been for me. They have, in a sense, carried the burden of my vision to a higher place that I could not see the summit of. And I don't know any other coaches that would call you up and say, I got it, I got the download of what you need for your business. Suzanne, you need to fall in love. 3 years out of a really painful, broken marriage, I was like, okay, is there an answer B to what I need to do for success? Like, what's the next assignment after that one? Because I don't like that assignment. And it was the assignment. Like, where else are you going to hear that except for from a spiritual Sherpa? You need to fall in love. And
And just
And-
in all fairness, we did talk about photography and how to mesh in her psychic gifts. Okay, we didn't just talk about
Yeah.
falling in love.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We met, and I did the day package where I, got the full-on love for 48 hours from Suzanne and Jeffrey, and I was in the closet crying in some hotel room while Jeffrey's doing the parts work for me. I'm like, no, I'm not coming. And
Sounds appealing, doesn't it?
it doesn't. Don't you just want to do it? Don't you just want to get all messy and snotty and rich and famous? And no.
There are tears.
There will be tears. There will be resistance, and that's why why I needed a spiritual Sherpa is to hold the vision, because what happened is I had the vision, and I'll talk about that tonight. Like, it was given to me as a download, like, this is what you will do. And I was like, oh, hell to the no, I am not doing that. Because it included coming out and being like full on woo-woo. And I called Jeffrey and I said, he's like, we need new headshots for our business. And I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I got this download 6 months ago about this new process that I'm supposed to do, and I want to practice it on you guys. So they were the first soul portraits. And it's like the coaching began. Yeah, and you'll see them tonight. You'll see the evolution of the soul portrait, because it was that first session where Jeffrey, like, I'm photographing and I'm doing my thing and I'm kind of waiting for Spirit to guide me, and Jeffrey's like, he does his spiritual Tourette's thing. I'm sure you've seen it. When he gets the download, he twitches his head. If you didn't know, that's what's happening. That's what's happening with Jeffrey. And he's like, she's supposed to be channeling right now. And Suzanne and I look at each other, and he's like, she's supposed to be channeling right now. And I'm like, right now, in the middle of the photography session?
You're like, I am.
How
It's
do
through
I
my
do this?
camera.
I'm taking pictures, And then we got guidance about the process. It's like now her process is quite elaborate, and there's a ritual around it, and there's a little tape recorder, and she's tape recording you, and then there's a process around looking at your pictures and receiving and accepting this deeper vision of who you are, and there's a whole purpose for this about self-love that has nothing to do with let me look good on Facebook.
Here's what happened for me. The very first time we did this process, it was clear as day for me. I was like, no, you're supposed to be talking out loud to me as you're taking these photos. I was like, start. And she's like, I can't channel on command. I was like, you're pissed.
1-800 dial a psychic.
Right?
I'm like, I can't just turn
And
it
I was like, no, it's really clear to me. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So she did. And she does these like readings about your soul, about your essence. And what happened for me is my persona just dropped away.
That's right. I had the same
My
experience.
soul
yeah.
came forward and snap. There's the soul
So,
portrait.
so Sid, please tell us what's happened to your business since you really began to stand in this platform and own this edge.
Cosmically ridiculous. So Suzanne said, you need to fall in love. And I was like, I'm going to Australia. And she's like, well, you need to fall in love with yourself in Australia, and then you'll fall in love. So I go to Australia, and I really fell in love with myself. And as soon as I did, I was like Dyke on the floor of this trailer in Australia going, oh my God, I see how big the vision is, and I'm excited and I'm terrified. And it took me 3 days of just crying and crying and crying, like seeing what the universe needs me to do and how big it is, and to keep saying yes to it. And since I did that, and immediately I got calls from all over Australia of people wanting to fly me all over and then fly me to Bali. And,
For soul portraits.
for soul portraits, and I got 20 soul portraits in 6 weeks. And it was just almost inconceivable to my egoic mind. But when I sunk into it's not about me, it's not about my ego, and it's really not even about the money, it's about who I am and what my soul's purpose is in the world, to reflect back to you who you really are, like the God that you are, and to stand in that truth of just complete love and adoration for anybody that's willing to show up for themselves and for this process. It's like my business, I don't even know, I think you figured out the percentage, but it's like I've had to hire 2 staff people to keep up with
This
whole
has
thing.
really kicked in the last 3 months, okay? And the other thing that's important to know is that prior to this, and we had to remove her from this with some resistance, she was a personal trainer in LA, not making much money, okay? Can I just say? And it was like, but
I
I
liked the
love
idea of
my,
it. It
I
sounded
love
sexy.
my club. You know, we were like, no, you can't be a personal trainer anymore. It's time to go hit the big time.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll just say one little thing about the parts work and how it really helped me. So I was holding on to this little piece of me in a parts work session. I got that I was like this big thoroughbred racehorse on this, that I had relegated myself to the state fair, like to kids' rides, like going around and around in a circle, and I was being like paid 5 cents per ride. And I finally, after doing the parts work, I got injured one day, and in the 9 years I'd been a trainer, I'd never gotten injured teaching. And I got really injured, and we did a parts work session, and that piece of me was like, I am a thoroughbred horse. Take me to the Kentucky Derby now. And I quit. You know, I quit doing that, and I loved it, and it was fun. But what I realized in that was that thoroughbred just wanted to be seen and appreciated, and I like sparkles and costumes, and they have those at the state fair. So I said to myself, I'm like, okay, thoroughbred, you can show up and you can wear your costume at the Kentucky Derby. You know, and just from there, it's just been full on joy. Just
And steady biz.
and really, really steady business, and really, like, when people were flying me all over Australia and Bali and, like, paying my way and paying for my girlfriend to be there with me and paying for these beautiful places to stay and getting me business, I was just like, oh, my God, all I have to do is show up. And
Notice
just,
there's a girlfriend in there, too.
yeah,
But there wasn't there
yeah,
before.
Yeah,
Just saying.
the girlfriend showed up, you know, in the most amazing, beautiful, beautiful way. And I now get how, like, opening my heart to that love was and continues to be a key piece of me being able to do my business.
I would
Yeah.
say one other thing in that
great.
your rates have more than tripled, and you're now booked well in advance. And there's a relationship between that self-love and really charging an appropriate amount for this thoroughbred, right? And it's that income that's allowing you to step out into a bigger platform and really travel the world and do what you're doing.
Right. Let me just tell you, so I was making $25 an hour as a personal trainer, and then I was charging $5.50 for a soul portrait. And then when I got to Australia and I got, like, the full extent, I was able to say yes to what Suzanne and Jeffrey had coached me on, which was $1,100. And I said it unflinchingly, and everybody in Australia paid the $1,100. They paid my expenses, they paid my travel, and it was just like, and I want to say that the quality of the work increased exponentially
Yeah.
I would agree.
when I really started charging what the value is for your niche. Like, what you do is so unique that it's not like anything anybody else does. Like, you can go to and Lisa and I work together a lot. You can go to a regular astrologer and get a reading for, like, way cheap, but it is not a soul map. And, you know, and you can go somewhere else and get a really, you can go and you can get a really good headshot from someone, and if that's what you want, blessings on you. But man, oh man, if you want to be transformed, if you want to have an amazing, earth-shaking, transformative experience, come to us, and you'll get a product out of it. And that's the platform that they built. You know, it's not just about this is the product. It's like, if you want to deliver full-on, earth-shaking transformation to people as a part of what you do, that's what this is unleashing in us.
So, yeah,
Is this on?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
now it is.
I met Siddiqi at the last Spiritual Marketing Quest in October and heard her speak, and I thought, that is the woman doing my next photos. That is the woman. That is her. I don't know how it's going to happen. We live in different places, but it's going to happen. And it did happen. It happened a few weeks ago. And just today at lunch, she showed me the photos in the back, and I burst into tears. And I could again. It was amazing. It was
So-
just amazing.
So when you hear this level of transformation, do you really see in your hearts what level of honesty and self-love is required here? And are you willing to do this for yourself, however you need to get there? That's the question. you know? Thank you,
Thank you.
our dear friends, for coming up here.